Tomatoes ready yet? I put my order in for oats an hour ago.
It's a bit hot still down there. 2 minutes. Down there.
You making a mess? Come on, one left. Good girl. Again, move it. One more. Those easies out. Good, well done. Hello. God, it has been a little while since I've been on the YouTube, so I do apologise, and I feel like I need to update you on life, essentially what I've been up to. My goals essentially have actually slightly changed. So I've just been to the gym and I'm now going to have my oats, salted caramel, bit of banana, bit of honey. Bloody lovely. I don't think this is ever going to get, I'm ever going to get bored of this. So, hello, welcome. Where do we start? I think the last YouTube, I think it was around the end of September. We went on the cruise. That was amazing. Came back. And then the plan was to go into another grow phase with the goal to then compete next year. And this had been like a thought process, is that the right word to use? This has been playing on my mind, I suppose, for a little while, that I've competed now since 2017 and I absolutely love it. I love the lifestyle. I have so much to thank for bodybuilding because it's made me essentially who I am. Obviously it's built my body, but it's made me the person that I am, and I very much still live like a bodybuilder. But I'd kind of got to a place where I was kind of happy with the amount of muscle that I currently have, and maybe a little bit bigger glutes, because I feel like who doesn't actually ever want to keep growing their glutes? But anyway, I'd kind of found it like from an upper body perspective, I didn't really want to be any bigger, and I was quite happy with kind of like the size of my legs. However, to be more competitive, so the last time that I competed, which was, God, what was that, like two years ago now? God, time literally does absolutely fly. I won my regional, and then I came second at the British finals. So I could kind of sort of confirm from sort of that I was sort of like at a high level of amateur. So for me to be sort of more competitive and turning pro, like into the pro league of bodybuilding, was definitely a goal that I had. I don't know if I still have it. It's still, I don't know if I've fully hung my heels up, but I'd got to a place where in order to step into the pro league, I need to still be a lot bigger than I am. So I was basically battling with this sort of headspace for me that I like how I look. I've done cut and bulk, because that's ultimately kind of what we have to go through to transform a body. And I've basically done that for like 7-8 years. I think it's about that. And I basically just got to a point where I don't want to be any bigger, but in order to be more competitive within bodybuilding, I need to be. So I think it had played on my mind a lot, and around about the Christmas time, I just made the decision that for now, I don't necessarily want to push to be any bigger. And maybe for now, I need to kind of let my kind of thoughts around inspiring to be pro, but maybe actually that isn't necessarily a goal. Like if I don't necessarily want to be bigger, then is that actually a goal that I want? So I decided around sort of just after Christmas time to make that decision. So I made that decision to not kind of grow anymore, and not have the goal to obviously step on stage anytime potentially soon. And so far, I don't necessarily regret that decision. It's been really interesting actually, because like I said earlier, I've literally either gone from like a bulk phase and then you come back down, a bulk, come back down, with obviously like my competitive seasons thrown into the mix of that. So for me, I'd never really spent a period of time where I was just basically trying to maintain the physique that I want. I'd never actually spent any time since pretty much 2017, other than when you go on holiday and Christmases and stuff like that. I'd never actually spent time not tracking my food and essentially seeing how I get on with that. So I wanted to basically do that. I wanted to be like, right, can I maintain my results without necessarily having to track my food? Has all of the years of obviously tracking my food, understanding what portion sizes look like when I'm dieting against obviously portion sizes when I'm bulking. So I made the decision to do that. And so far, it's actually gone really, 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 really well. I think for me, what it's done is it's highlighted that this very much is a lifestyle. So, you know, the way in which I eat is a lifestyle. Like I actually generally just really enjoy eating really well. I haven't really changed what I eat. So I still have my oats for breakfast. I still been having my sourdough with my eggs and salad for lunch. I still have either sort of like my cream of rice meal in the afternoon, or maybe like some yogurt and some fruit and some bits and bobs in it. And then I just have like a general concept for dinners, which is what sort of I've always done, unless I've been on sort of dieting, been on sort of preps where obviously you do tend to just eat the same dinner every single night. And so it's just highlighted to me that, you know, the years of obviously doing all of this has just become a lifestyle for me. I'm still training. Training has changed ever so slightly because I have actually thrown into the mix a little bit of running. Now, I don't plan to become a runner. I also know that when it comes to building muscle, you've only got to look at a long distance runner, right? A long distance runner isn't going to be somebody that has absolutely loads of muscle. So I haven't obviously just spent years of building my body to then obviously downsize. The goal wasn't to downsize, but I would quite like to challenge myself. And also I'm at a point now, being like mid-30s, where I think before it was all probably about, well, it was absolutely about feeling healthy, but it was more probably about how I look. Whereas now it's like, yes, I think how I look is important to me, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that we want from ourselves. But I also want to feel, you know, functionally fit and functionally healthy. And I just think for me, I was like to be able to run like 5k without stopping quite comfortably, is something that I would like to do. So me and Niall actually decided to do it together. We thought, actually, let's do something where we're both not necessarily very good at it, and we decided to do the Couch to 5k, mainly because I think I haven't ran for like regularly for probably like over 6 years. Like, I used to play hockey and I used to do a lot of running before I got into weights. So we were like, I don't know if our joints are actually going to appreciate us going from no running to suddenly running. So we were like, let's do something like the Couch to 5k, which basically is a really good thing to actually start you off, because it starts you off with, we basically started off with like a minute of running, a minute walking. And I think you did that like 10 times. And then gradually we built up. And on Saturday we ran our first 5k without stopping. And it was actually quite good. So I'm doing 2 runs a week, keeping it to 30 minutes. I don't want to run any longer than that. And then I'm doing sort of 3 to 4 sessions a week. I'm still training legs 3 times a week because I do love training legs, and I don't necessarily want to lose my size. And I've not noticed any sort of impact within my training and also the running from training 3 times a week, because I wasn't sure whether I was going to be able to do that. But it's been absolutely fine to do that. I do more of a quad based leg session, a total leg session, and then more of a glutes and hamstring session, and then 2 runs a week, which is on a Wednesday and a Saturday. So yeah, everything essentially has slightly changed, but I generally do feel really, really good. And actually my life, stepping away from like having the aspiration to compete, my lifestyle hasn't really changed. Like, I'm still training exactly the same, just obviously thrown a little bit of running into the mix. I'm still very much eating the same. I'm just not necessarily tracking everything that I eat. I might weigh the odd thing, but I think it's more just like creature of habit. Like, I don't find weighing my food overly stressful. I think, like, does it actually take you that much longer to put food on the weighing scales and weigh it? But I wanted to do it more for like just a little bit of a test on myself, that actually all of the years of what I've done, am I in a position now where I can basically maintain my weight without necessarily having to track and weigh everything? And also I'll have clients that will be in the same position. Like, you know, I very much do believe that in order to go after sort of physique-based goals, tracking your food is a must. I think it also teaches you about food, but it's also not something that you necessarily need to do forever, you know. And I will have clients that maybe get to a point where they will just want to maintain and live a healthy lifestyle. And I suppose, how can I guide them on that if I haven't actually done that personally? So yeah, slightly changed, but we are absolutely fine. We are all good. And it's just been quite nice. My weight hasn't really changed. Like, if I maybe go out for a meal, my weight might go up a little bit, but then by, you know, a few days later, it comes back down. It's literally stayed exactly the same weight. And I think my body composition is pretty much stayed the same. So yeah, we are all good in the hood. I'm going to take you through a little bit of a day in the life today, but I thought I would just make this YouTube mainly just an update from me. I think because I was going through all of that just thinking about it a lot, I didn't really know whether I wanted to get on the camera, which is why I then took a little bit of a while to obviously pick up the camera. But here we are, we are back, and I do plan to get back on the YouTube. I think also something that I noticed is that I was obviously trying to do the YouTubes every single week, and obviously I'm doing all of the editing myself, and I'm not fast at that. Like, that's just not, I didn't get into coaching to get you know, I was never a good sort of creator, I suppose. So that side of things, which is obviously attached to my job, is not something that's my speciality. So for me, it does take me a while to do it. So I think I was trying to get obviously a video out every week, which you've obviously got to film. You've then got to fit the editing in, and it was just, yeah, it's more time consuming than you actually realise. So I think what's probably more realistic for me, because I do like to do the YouTubes, I do like to do more of the long form, and I think you guys like to probably watch along. Well, I like to do that with people's YouTubes anyway. But I think once a week is probably, at this moment, with work and life and fitting all of that in, it's probably a little bit unrealistic. So what I've said to myself is I think 2 a month seems much more realistic, because I can, like, one week I can film and the next week I can edit. So yeah, my plan is to do 2 a month and just take you along the ride for now. Like I said, I'm just having the goal to maintain, so I can very much show you, you know, what I'm getting up to and what essentially that looks like. Obviously just take you through some day in the lives and what that looks like, and obviously then just sprinkle in a little bit of helpful tips if it comes to, you know, training, your nutrition, your health, whatever it is. And if there is anything that you ever want to, you know, you want me to cover in more depth that would help you, then definitely pop in the comment section and I'll make sure that it's something I do. So yeah, I'm gonna have my breakfast now. Obviously train this morning. I've got quite a bit of work to do today. I have no direct check-ins on a Tuesday. Monday, Wednesday, Friday are my check-in days. But I've got a couple of new clients that I need to set up, some programs that I need to do this morning, and then I think I've 't got 6 client calls this afternoon, so it will be like a full day, but it's not a check-in day. It's more of like an admin catch-up calls on a Tuesday. So yeah, can have my breakfast, get stuck into work, and then I'll catch you in a bit. Lunchtime. Literally the same. Got my eggs. I do actually think that keeping your meals similar, I do think if you're busy and you're trying to, like, you know, live a healthy lifestyle, then keeping your meals similar and eating similar meals on repeat, I think, does tend to work best. And I often do recommend that to clients, and I often find that the clients that are busy and are successful, in the end, that is kind of like the system that they prefer to use, I prefer to use. I think the less decision thinking sometimes you can give yourself with many areas of your life, and that's why pre-planning and all of that, I think, can just work wonders for us. So yeah, just stop in. I try not to eat my food at the desk. Like, I try to, like, give myself a lunch break, if that makes sense. So I try to stop for half an hour, have some food, and I normally tag this on to Walking Willie and just nipping around the block at lunchtime, and it is looking bloody glorious out there. So yeah, I'm having this. Like I said earlier, I haven't tracked it, but I've literally got 2 pieces of sourdough, a quarter of a plate of salad, and 2 eggs. So, you know, yes, I'm not weighing this to the letter. And like I said earlier, I think if you're going after specific goals, I do think weighing things, like, it's that saying, isn't it? What we measure, we manage. But this pretty much hasn't really changed. And probably of all my years of tracking, like, I'm probably pretty damn good at getting it accurate. So yeah, just gonna have this meal now, knit Winnie out, and then, like I said, I've got some calls this afternoon. Apparently I look homeless on my walk right now, according to I can't even spin it. According to, I don't think I look that bad. You'll have to turn it around.
You've just put all the stuff back in your pocket.
Oh,
You had poo bags hanging out your pocket.
yeah, but that's dog life, isn't it? I don't think that's not bad, actually. Anyway, who dresses their best when they're out walking the dog? Trying to get the last little bit of sun now, because apparently it's going to go at about 6:15, but it has been an absolute lovely day, enjoying the sun. Just wrapped up the work, and annoyingly I've just come on my period, so I don't have any paracetamol at home. I always find the first day is always quite painful, and then it gets a bit better. So yeah, can I walk to the shop and get some paracetamol? Not that you guys need to know that, but anyway, ladies, you can feel me on that. And it's weird, like the first day I feel a bit sick, so I suppose there's worse things that you could experience, isn't there? Anyway, so all is good in the hood. Like I said to you earlier, goals have basically changed ever so slightly, but we are quite enjoying it. So I think for now we're just gonna carry on with what we're doing. Who knows, I may change my mind tomorrow, but anyway, for now we are all good. So yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here, because we're literally going to walk to the shop, get some paracetamol, go home and cook dinner. We are having like a bolognese. I basically do beef mince with a bag of stir-fry veg and some tinned tomatoes, and I'm going to have it with air fryer potatoes, and I think Niall's going to have it with rice and a wrap. So that's going to be dinner, and then I'll have a little bit of yoghurt before I go to bed, and then that's basically me food for the day, work for the day, and then back up. It's run day tomorrow, so we get up and run in the morning, so try and go out at get up at 5, get hydrated, and then take my electrolytes, and then we head out about 5:30. And it's been funny actually, because of the days that I've ran in the mornings, I've definitely noticed that I've had more energy and had like a little bit more of a buzz about me. They do say something about the runner's high, don't they? But yeah, I definitely noticed that. Anyway, like I said earlier, I'm not going to be turning into a runner. I love muscles and I love lifting weights. So yeah, thank you for watching. Sorry, it's been a little bit of a delay, and I will catch you on the next